Got the sun coming up here over the water. Check out all these boats going out. Boats, huh? Ships. A lot of them. Going to who knows where. But again, those might be tankers. They might be going out to all the offshore rigs, who knows. Talking like I know something here. The sun's really going up fast. Alright, pretty cool. For my third day in Galveston, Texas, I had to think, what haven't I done? Let's see, I reeled in some fish, mingled with a few ghosts, and toured a mansion. Let's see, what else was there to do? Oh yeah, fly in an airplane. Not just any airplane though. Fly in an open cockpit biplane. Ooh, now that's something that I had never done. Here in Galveston, waiting for my pilot for my ride here. This scallywag. Let's see what's out here. Here at the Galveston airport, seems like there's a whole lot more helicopters than anything else. All these helicopters go out to the offshore drilling rigs. And we got a few planes over here. More trees and planes. Yeah. I saw a Learjet earlier. There's a Learjet. Right there. Wonder if these guys fly it. Look like they're going to a car. Never mind. Here's the plane I'll be flying in today. I don't know. I didn't expect to see a skull on it, but that's kind of cool. Got a helicopter taking off over there. But this is interesting. See how this goes. My pilot said she's been flying for like 2 years. I guess that's comforting. It's cool. To be honest, I was expecting some old crusty Air Force retiree to show up to fly my plane. Boy, was I surprised when this super cute young lady showed up to take me off to the friendly skies. Now, Scallywag Air have rides that can take you all over the Galveston area. But I was pretty stoked regardless where the plane was taking me. In this red biplane, I felt like the Red Baron. All I needed were some mountain machine guns and a few enemy planes to take on. Oh boy, what a ride. And to make the experience ever so cooler, the guy who ran the company gave me the whole rundown on this kick-ass little plane. And he even pulled his baby out of its hangar later on and let me have a few quick photo ops with it. Now, the description of the flight says that it can be an experience for two. However, if you choose to do the duet flight, you'd better be pretty darn tight with your other passenger, because it will be a tight fit. Of course, if flying around Galveston in a small biplane isn't your thing, well, go jump on a Segway. And that's where I was heading next. After a little crash course on how to ride the thing, not to mention a lesson on how expensive expensive they are. Me and my tour hit the streets of Galveston on 2 wheels. Oh yeah, I was cruising through the Galveston streets on that little baby, seeing things that I hadn't noticed from the air or during my multiple ghost tours. Then we hit the seawall. Cruising down the seawall sidewalk on my Segway, I was fitting right in with all the rollerbladers, and the joggers, and the bike riders, and the dog walkers. And as an added bonus, I didn't run into a one of them. Then we hit the residential area, where my guide pointed out all the tree carvings in Galveston. Yeah, someone had actually taken the time to do a little artwork on the local greenery. He even pointed out a house where the members of the Rat Pack used to hang out while they were hanging out in Galveston back in the day. Okay, my tour basically consisted of me, a mom, and 3 teenagers. Those kids were probably thinking, what's so special about a pack of rats hanging out in a house? Yeah, I might have been the only one there who was old enough to know who the Rat Pack were. Then we cruised through the Galveston Medical School. I didn't even know Galveston had a medical school. By the time we hit the Galveston Strand, I thought I was handling the Segway like a real pro. And all I could think was, whoa, I've got to get one of these things. Well, that was until I pulled to a stop and toppled right off of it onto the pavement right there in front of hundreds of people. Yeah, not cool. Did this Segway tour today. Drove me all over Galveston on that one right there. I only fell off once. How cool is that? Now that is some stuffed shrimp. Alright guys. After a stop for some tasty goodies at Benno's Cajun Seafood on the seawall, I was off to see another must-see mansion in Galveston, the Bishop's Palace. Now, the Bishop's Palace is exactly as the name implies. This impressive mansion housed the Galveston Bishop for 4 decades. So, the Moody family lived in a mansion, but the Bishop lived in a palace. Regardless of what they call the place, it is certainly worth checking out. Now, this place is a mile or so down the street from the Moody Mansion. And don't confuse it with the huge house that's just a block or so away, like I did. Yeah, all I found there was a sleeping possum. He wasn't happy. I was waking him up. Here's the Bishop's Palace. After wandering around the wrong building, I finally found it. Kind of curious about that top there. Interesting. It's right here next to this really cool looking church here in Galveston. Not sure what that is, but let's go check this place out. Bishop's Palace. This is the Bishop's Palace entryway. Kind of cool looking. Check out the ceiling. Fall over. That's pretty cool, huh? Quite the picture. So impressive. And there's the doorway. There's a group of people making photo ops of the main staircase. Looks like they're going to be there for a while. I guess I'll go up the servant staircase here at the Bishop's Palace. This house comes with its own altar.
Here we have Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Fitting for a bishop's palace. Here we have that really cool staircase from the top. They call that the pulpit. All the way up to the ceiling. How cool. Be some good family pictures. And we'll see the Brady Bunch, huh? Yeah, the Brady Bunch on the staircase. The Bishop's Palace has a lot of really cool fireplaces in it. And here's one over here. Got a really cool mirror there. There's even one over here that's pretty fancy. What blows my mind is why they need a fireplace. It's mid-October here and I'm about to drown in my own sweat. It is so hot here. But they look really cool. Just finished up my tour of the Bishop's Palace here in Galveston. Got my sticker here I was supposed to wear, and I guess everybody puts it on this street lamp. Street lamp, stoplight. Got the wrong terminology. Well, I'll just stick it through. There we go. That's probably illegal. But I'm a rebel.
So after a day of flying around in a biplane, cruising around on a Segway, and hanging out in an old mansion, I was ready for another, how about another haunted tour? Now, pub crawl ghost tours are always a blast. My guide Alan took me and the two women on my tour from bar to bar. Here we did some shots, talked about ghosts, did some more shots, and talked about more ghosts, and, well, do you see a pattern forming here? Now, the cool thing about pub crawl tours are that they are always a big social thing, and nobody gives a darn about looking for orbs.
Lots of ghost tours here in Galveston, Texas. My red light tour started, well, about right here. Who would have thought? I just did my pub crawl. I went to about 4 bars. Bought some drinks for some girls I've never met or never see again. But that's what we do on these tours. We get all social and we drink and we talk about ghosts. What more could you want? Not much activity down here at 10 o'clock in Galveston, Texas. Guess I'll go back to my hotel.